Welcome back to Sound and Communications Viewpoint. This is the second part of our series on House of Worship Trends and Technology. My name is Pat Thompson from TV Magic, and I still have with me Houston and George from Clark Pro Media. And last time we talked a little bit about technology, the new technologies that are happening, social interaction, remote sites, and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of the pastors and church leaders that we talk to are wondering, why should I go to high def these days? When standard def has been fine for me all along. I'm not broadcasting, I don't need to do that. And one of the things that I tell them is, everybody that's looking at TV in their homes now is seeing a high def signal. Mm-hmm. Every time you go out to even a club or a stadium, you're seeing high def images. And I say, why would you not go to HD? What do you guys see happening?
Well, I agree with you. I think we see the same thing. The way we look at it and the way we counsel and coach the churches we work with is that you don't want technology to be a barrier to communication. You want it to be essentially invisible. And if someone walks into an environment and their home television or home theater sound system sounds better than the environment they're walking into, they may not sit back there and say that, but there's automatically some type of barrier to getting to what the core of the message is and what the messenger wants to deliver.
I think it goes to that people are competing for your interest, and that's the biggest impact we see is how are people going to spend their discretionary time. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds like you're pitting the secular world against the religious. It's not really. It's just you need to understand that HD is the communication tool that people communicate with now. Yeah. And that would be the reason why we say that it needs to be an HD system.
So pretty much any new system you're doing, you're recommending HD at this point in time. Yeah, and it's the same thing for us. And the cost delta in the equipment isn't as great as it used to be. And in some respects, you can't find it.
Exactly.
Equipment anyway.
We're concerned about support of this technology, of standard def, as it gets further down the years, as we go from that. So.
Right.
Yeah. Well, okay, if HD is what we're looking at now, what's the next thing on horizon? I've heard lots of different things. People are talking, we're going to be broadcasting in 1080p. Well, that's just another version of HD. But what's the next thing on the horizon?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the things that we're seeing is 3D or holographic type technologies, and you're starting to see little blips of it in culture. I think the NFL just had some events where you could go to a theater and watch some of the games as in 3D, and certainly I think some of the entertainment venues are already using that, and we believe probably within the next 3 to 5 years, that's just going to become a standard medium for a lot of communication and in many ways meaningful communication to our culture and society.
Now, how does an integrator apply that to the church market? I mean, it's well and good to say, NFL Live is going to be in 3D, holographic imagery, blah, blah, blah. But what does that mean for a minister? How do you approach a minister about something like that?
The best way that I can envision it right now is if you can imagine virtual sets that change as the pastor's talking. If he's talking about Noah's Ark, all of a sudden you could potentially have a 40-foot boat riding a wave behind the pastor that's teaching about it. From sermon texts that he's speaking about, it's more dimensional. So as he's not pointing to side screens, he's actually pointing to something beside him that appears to be levitating in air beside him.
Yeah, we think the vision should be broader than just an individual as a hologram. Mm-hmm. It should be, how can you use holograms to create reality or create the illusion that you're in this environment. All of culture, and especially if you just look at children's games today, they're creating an environment, an immersive environment.
Sure, it sounds so futuristic, but I mean, what's the reality today? I mean,
well, think about it today. On most tours that you see, and even in a lot of churches, they're using anything from the VersaTubes down to just video walls behind to create pictures and movement and signs. This is a continuation and an expansion of that, for lack of a better word. They're already using video, high-def video, a lot for the content to move. And we've all seen the churches that have the big video wall behind the band or the pastor. This is the next evolution of that, of saying, okay, we can have the video wall, but now we want to move it and we want to give it depth.
Yeah, so that begs the question, if you're having this new technology that requires depth, how do you integrate that into an existing facility, or how would you help a church make their new building ready for that kind of technology.
We spend a lot of time on the front end and the consulting side of what we do to help churches anticipate where technology is going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. The buildings that they're building are incredibly expensive, and you want to make sure they're not obsoleted within the first 2 or 3 years. So much of that, it just has to do with helping them anticipate the space that they're going to need to have, or the environment they need to have in order to use some of the newer technology.
Sure. Well, we're, obviously with HD stuff going on, for the last 4 or 5, 6 years, we've been, any new place that we've built, we put in HD wiring for everything. But that now, what the nuts and bolts of this? What kind of cabling are we talking about for
the technology that we see coming out? It's used as standard cameras and standard HD cameras, if that's an oxymoron.
Yeah.
But anyway,
off the shelf.
Yeah, off the shelf components to do it. So there is no special cabling. If they're outfitting their facility now with good cabling and wire management infrastructure such as that, they will be set. The only other addition is there needs to be space footprint behind there, and that's in stage design. And believe it or not, it's going back to a lot of what the old stages would have been back at the turn of the last century and the middle of the century. Of you need fly lofts, you really do need that downstage and upstage space to be able to generate these types of
right, but
video systems.
Yeah, that allows a single physical environment to meet multiple needs of different demographics, if you will, because they can rapidly change if it's a set or any of the other parts of the environment they're trying to create digitally. It's just a digital change instead of reconstructing a set.
Well, what does that do for the people that are at church? I mean, how does that affect them, and how would you kind of get over that opposition you might face?
I think a lot of it is I envision a blend of the two technologies where a lot of our clients spend a lot of money and time building hard sets. And I think there's going to be a time where the hard set is blended with the video set, the holograph, so you have some of both. So it's actually a cost savings for the church to actually build the virtual set and then integrate it with some hard pieces. And
all right, well, let's pick up on that in a minute. Right now we're going to go to break. We'll be back in a few minutes more to talk more about House of Worship trends and technology.